Hi guys, welcome to our channel. If you're new here or if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. This is Emmy from the Crazy Bookish Asians, and for today, as you guys will see from the title, I'm going to be talking about the methods I use to annotate my books, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, and I'm also going to be talking about the supplies that I use. So right off the bat, I want to tell you, obviously, because I'm making this video, I'm one of those people that don't mind marking their books, and basically, to me, when I own a book, it's mine, so I tend to really personalize it and basically put my thoughts into it. So not necessarily writing a lot, but as you guys will see, just marking the favorite parts. The favorite parts that I have in this book or whatever I really liked, or sometimes what I didn't like, right? So like for now, I have these 3 books here I will show you, because I think these are the ones I've annotated the most. And then later on, there'll be other books I'll show you, like how I annotated those books. And also I'm going to be talking about the supplies that I use, which is really not a lot. So, okay. So here are the 3 books I picked for now. First one here is my very old copy of The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. So this one I've read a few times. Alright, and then the next one is the Iliad by Homer, translated by Fagles. This one I just read this year. And last one, which is a book that we did for our book club, is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn, Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So, okay, when I say simple, I really mean simple. Like, as you guys will see here, basically for a lot of fiction books, how I annotate my books is basically I just underline the favorite parts or parts that really touch me, and then I tab it. So the tabs here, you will see there's like different colors. They don't mean anything. Like, I don't color code my tabbing. It's just whatever I have available that I can grab, because I have a pencil case on my bag that just has a few supplies, and then I have my main pencil case at home I use for annotating, and those also have different colors of tabs. And yeah, so the color itself doesn't mean anything. That's why I think it's very simple, the way I do it anyway. So like, for example, here, the Iliad. This one is a part that I tabbed because it talks about the judgment of Paris, which when I was reading this at the time I was really interested in. And the Judgment of Paris, if you've read the Iliad, they don't really discuss what happened in the Judgment of Paris. So it's actually something you have to kind of look up on your own when you're reading this book. But I think most people who read this book probably know what it is anyways. So I tabbed it because this is, I think, is this the first time that Helen was mentioned? Anyways, I underlined Helen of Argos because this whole stanza was about her. So that is it. And then another example, just to show you that there's really no meaning on the way I tab, like no, in terms of the color. This one here, I underlined, he had just grasped the corpse when shining Hector smashed his head with a rock, and his whole skull split into his massive helmet, blah, blah, blah. Why did I underline this? I think because it was really talking graphically, and to me it signified just the violence of this book, something like that. Yes. So, and sometimes when there's really something that I want to take a note of, I would write a page in the back, and then just so that I know out of all these tabs which part talks about that. Like for this part, Apollo, page 398. I really love Apollo in this book, so I think that's why I tabbed that. So let's go to 398. So this whole part here, as you guys will see there, I put Apollo, and then marked it like that, and then tabbed it. So basically this part talks about Apollo, and something about it just really touched me. So yeah, so that's how I basically do my fiction. That's how I tab it. And for this one, This one is slightly different because I've read this a few times, and the way I tab this, it's not just parts that I really like, but also at the time, I was writing a book of my own, and I use this book a lot for inspiration, and also just taking notes of how she would describe someone talking, her adjectives, the way she was using adjectives, and her sentence construction. So this one I studied a bit differently than how I would usually do with fiction. Oh my god, this book is so old. Like, it's so tattered too. Like, I've read it so many times. And this one too, I would like whatever I did know the definition of. So I would just put there acerbic. At that time, I didn't know what it meant. So I put the meaning there. And this one, I underlined. Oh, this one, I just like how she did this paragraph. Let me read it. Whatever its roots, I felt my own paranoia is an affront on my former self. A week ago, I'd been a normal American graduate student, content in my discontent with my work, enjoying the deep down a sense of the prosperity and moral high ground of my culture, even while I pretended to question it and everything else. Like, I think for that part, I just really like how her sentence flowed. And this one, again, a word that she used that I was really intrigued with, I guess you should say. So in this one, she used prostrating, and then here I had a horrifying sense that they were bowing not to the altar but to the grave of the impaler. Like, just yeah. So this one, it is a bit different, but again, it's like stuff that I like most of the time. And also, like I said, because I kind of looked at this book differently at one point, so there are more single words underlined. Let me see if I can find something else. Oh, this one, I just like this sentence too. In short, the biggest problem with him is that he is not you. Yeah. I thought that was such a sweet line. And here, like, see, like something like this, I underlined. She demanded, I admitted. Like, just her use of verbs and how she would describe someone talking. So that one I kind of took attention, like paid attention to as well. And then this one, again, it's just because it's just a literary fiction. I just underlined my favorite parts. Did I write anything at the back? No. So yeah, it's just like for this one, page 235. I was out of my terrace directly in the sun on the afternoon after the initial riots, wearing high-waisted jeans and a black sleeveless top, drinking a Gibson. And I started crying when I realized those men and women were willing to fight for a dream I had never even allowed myself to envision. A world where we could be ourselves without fear and without shame. They were braver and more hopeful than I was. There were simply no other words for it. So this was when the main character was talking about that riot that was happening at the time by the LGBTQ community, I believe. Yes. Okay, and for this one, I do want to say, let me get my notebook. Because this one we did for our book club, I had to take note of the parts that I liked, that didn't like. So in that case, I also made notes on this one, which is just this notebook I got from my sister-in-law when she went to Spain. She got me this as a souvenir when she visited the Pablo Picasso Museum. So thank you, Lisa. So like with a book like that where I know I have to kind of pay attention to stuff, then I also made notes. 7 Husbands of Evelyn, Hugo, what I liked, what I didn't like, and like stuff I wanted to talk about on the book club meeting. So like here, I think I did say, oh, Harry, the character Harry, I love. And then the part that I love, page 89, Monique talking about her dead father. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, now let me talk about, I guess, sometimes there'll be a different way I would annotate. But it's not very common. But like for this one, East of Eden, I annotated this book a lot as well. And like I said before, I really have no, I don't add, oh my god, what is that? Color code. I don't color code my tabbing. There you go. But for this one, as you guys will see, it's a bunch of yellow and then a green. And the only reason I tabbed this one, a green one, is because I thought this paragraph right here basically talked about the whole theme of the book. And East of Eden. I'm gonna do a video on this later on, but I do want to say this is probably one of the books that's really touched my life. And here, okay, so the part here that I think is the whole theme of the book is about is when Lee, the character of Lee, is talking to a character called Samuel. And I don't want to, if you haven't read this, I don't know if I should read it, but anyways, okay, maybe just a small part of it. So Lee answer, okay, so this is Lee talking now. I think this is the best known story in the world because it is everybody's story. I think it's a simple story of the human soul. I'm feeling my way now. Don't jump on me if I'm not clear. The greatest terror a child can have is that he's not loved, and rejection is a hell he fears. I think everyone in the world, to a large or small extent, has felt rejection. And with rejection comes anger, and with anger some kind of crime and revenge for the rejection, and with the crime, guilt. And there's a story of mankind. So, if you guys don't know, this is based a lot on the story of Cain and Abel in the Bible. And if you guys are familiar with the story, then you know how sad it is. And basically, this book deals with that, the story of revenge and all that. So that's why I tabbed that differently. Otherwise, like I said, I don't color code, right? Like, honestly, with this book, like a book like this, I don't even know why I ended up tabbing it, because the whole book to me is just precious. And I'll show you one book like that. Hang on a sec. Okay, so there are just some books, I think, that from the first page to the last, every word, every paragraph is just so amazing that it's almost useless to tab the whole thing or underline. And a book like that for me is Catcher in the Rye. I've always said Catcher on the Rye in like my past videos, so I'm sorry, it's Catcher in the Rye. So this one, I didn't underline anything at all, no tabbing. I've read this book a few times as well, but just because every page in this book, I feel like I could have underlined. And I think the same goes for East of Eden. So, but anyways, oh, I did right here at the back, page 266. Let me see what's at page 266. Why did I write that down? Oh, okay. Chapter 4, Philosophical Discourse on Cain and Abel. So yeah, that's why I wrote at the back, because it's probably something that really, well, yeah, I'll probably go back to this entire book, like I said. And then page 413 is the other one. And that one, I think I wrote the whole, yeah. Chapter 34. So it's a really short chapter. And was this the beginning of something? Yeah. So the beginning of part 4. And I think this was because I just really like how this basically introduced the whole, the last part of the book. So I think that is it. So I will show you guys now the stuff I use to annotate. I just recently upgraded to this bigger one. This is an old pencil case, but it was in a smaller case before. But I ended up upgrading it because aside from annotating my books here, I also use this to annotate my Bible. So I'll show you guys that later on, just so that you know what I use which stuff for. So these are the ones I use. Then I love highlighters, even though I don't use it here. Okay, so you know what, I'll just show you now. So I use this is not a highlighter, that's a fountain pen, I'm sorry. So these are the highlighters I have here. This one is something I just recently got, which is a beetle tip Kokuyo dual color, very nice. This one is a big highlighter from the dollar store, mild liner. Everyone loves that. And this is a old one from Grand & Toy. And this is a Fusion one. Yeah, Pilot Fusion. So this Japanese ones I just got from Umomo, which is a Japanese dollar store here in Toronto. So the reason I have highlighters here is because I do, although I don't use it a lot on my books, I do use it for when I annotate my Bible. So these are the ones that I like, this ones because they don't bleed through. So I use the highlighter a lot for that. And this one, as you can see, I also tab. But this one, I think I do. No, I don't think they have any meaning as well. This color tabbing. Yeah. All right. And then, so I have two fountain pens in here. This is the Twisby Eco and my Pilot Kakuno, because I use this to write my notes and also when I write on my planner. Small scissors, and I'll show you what I use that for. Mechanical pencil, and this is the one I use to underline. This and this, a pencil to underline my books. Another post-it, tab, eraser, lead for the mechanical pencil, and a ruler. Although I'm so lazy, I really don't use rulers, but sometimes I do this. You know, when I'm feeling a bit OCD. So, oh wait, I'm missing something here. Hang on a sec. Okay, yeah, so this was missing. I left it where I was earlier because I was using it recently. Okay, so these are post-it notes, and this is the size I'm currently using because these are actually really great. And I'll show you how I use it. Instead of using post-it notes, which actually this ones you can write on it too, but sometimes I prefer using post-it notes to really mark a book, and I'll show you an example of that. This is my old copy of Joy of Cooking. It is like literally falling apart, as you guys will see. It's, I will probably, when I die, I'll probably give this to my kids because this is an excellent cooking book. So anyways, so for this one, I use the post-it just because I can write bigger, or not even bigger, but like I can write like longer words, I guess. So like this one, a recipe for pork chop, white bread. So, but also here, see, I also wrote some stuff that I like from this book. Which edition is this? I don't even know. This is really old though. I don't even know. But this is an old, well-loved book. And also I use post-it for also my Bible, like this one for a book on Matthew. So I would mark that as a prayer request so it's easier to get to. And also the book of Revelation I did mark. Okay. And okay, so now I will talk about, let me put this away. What if you are someone who doesn't want to write anything on your book, because it is having a physical book, especially nowadays, you know, like we take it for granted, but you know, it's a privilege, right? Especially with the economy, how it is nowadays. If you can buy a book, you know, every book we should really treasure. So if you're one of those, let me see here. So I would suggest getting a notebook where you can write notes about a particular book. So this one, Anatomy of Criticism, which I've been reading for a while now, it's a very dense book. So this one, I originally borrowed the book from the library. I ended up loving it. So, but the way, when I started it, obviously I couldn't mark the library book. So I was making notes on it. And I just bought this cheap notebook. And I would write what stands out. And then I ended up getting the book. And I felt like I didn't really want to write on it as well, because it's probably something I would reread over and over throughout the years. And I don't know, for some reason it's a nonfiction, and I find with nonfiction I do have a different way of looking at it. So it's something I would refer to more, not necessarily read the whole thing, but you know, they like certain parts. So I just continued not marking it and just making my notes on this notebook. So let me just show you the sample stuff I would write down. And when you make these notes, try to put it in your own words, summarize, unless it's really something that you think that you might quote later on when you're writing an essay or writing a, I don't know, like a blog post or a review or something. Like for this one, for this section on the third essay, this one's some I did copy word per word, talking about the archetypal criticism theory of myths, introduction, page 135. The occasional hoaxes in which fiction is presented or ever accepted as fact correspond to the trompe-l'oeil illusions in painting. So I think that one, I put that, yeah. So it probably is just a summary and then stuff like that. This one, I feel like I did copy directly from page 141. Let's see if I copied that directly. Yeah, I did. So it's something that I think is important to me or will be important to me later on. So I just transferred it here. So yeah, so you don't really have to mark your book if you don't want to. Just for me, I do like marking my books. So, but if not, then this is something you can do, which is just take notes on a separate notebook or journal. So what else should I talk about? I think that is about it. Oh my gosh, this is a lot longer than I thought it would be. But anyways, thank you so much if you made it this far for listening to me ramble. I just really love talking about books in general, so as you guys will know if you've seen my other videos. But as always, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Have a great day wherever you are. Bye.